How do you find out if the dog's owner has insurance coverage in an Illinois dog bite case? Hi, I'm Josh Rohrscheib. I'm a personal injury lawyer in Central Illinois. And in this video, when we're talking about insurance coverage, we usually mean homeowners insurance, so it could be renter's insurance or a personal umbrella policy. But here we're talking about how to find out if there is insurance coverage that can compensate a dog bite injury client for their damages. So the first step is just to ask. If the client's comfortable talking to the dog owner and they can just ask, if they have insurance and what company they're insured by, that's the easiest way. And in a lot of cases, the dog's owner, if they're just a reasonable person, will feel bad about what happened. They'll think, this is why I have insurance in case there were an accident like this, and they'll be willing to give you the information. In other cases where maybe our client isn't comfortable asking or the owner isn't cooperative immediately, our next step is sending what we call a letter of rep or letter of representation or a notice of claim. An injured person could send out like a notice of claim letter without a lawyer. We typically think it works out better for folks if they have some legal help with this process, but when we do it, we send a letter of representation, which basically says to the dog's owner that we represent the injured person in their claims for their personal injuries that were caused by the dog owner's dog, and we ask them to preserve any evidence that could be related to the claim and to notify their insurance carrier of our claim. So the letter we sent gives them notice of the claim, and we ask that they send our letter to their insurance company. And then typically what will happen, in most cases, the dog owner will comply when they get a letter like that. They'll send the letter to their insurance company. The insurance company will open a claim, and then the insurance adjuster will reach out to us, and then we'll start the claim process with the insurance company directly. That's probably how we find out in most cases, one of those first two options. We just ask, or we send a letter of rep or a letter with notice of the claim. In cases where the defendant's just totally not cooperative, there are some other steps we can take. First, sometimes we'll look at we'll do some research on the dog owner. One thing we'll do is see if they own property and see if there's a mortgage on that property. If a property has a mortgage, the owner is typically required to have a homeowner's insurance policy. Now, that insurance policy won't always have liability coverage. It may just be coverage in the dwelling, but it would be pretty rare to have a homeowner's insurance policy with no liability coverage at all for the owner. So typically when we see that there's a mortgage, it's maybe not 100% safe assumption that there will be homeowner's insurance, but it's a pretty safe assumption that there's going to be some kind of homeowner's coverage available. Maybe we try again, or we call the dog owner and explain why they have a duty to their insurance company to make them aware of this claim. If that effort fails, our next step to determine if they have insurance coverage is to file a lawsuit. And when we file a lawsuit, one of two things will happen to help us determine if they have coverage. So first, it's an incredibly bad idea if you get sued and you have insurance coverage not to give your insurance company a copy of the lawsuit, because your insurance company would have a duty to defend you. So it may be the case that the defendant, when they get the lawsuit and that's actually filed, they can't kind of put their head in the sand anymore about the situation. And at that point, they will give the lawsuit to their insurance company. Insurance company will open a claim and they'll reach out to us. The second step that can happen is if the defendant doesn't give this to their insurance company, we have ways, like the saying, we have ways of making them talk. We have ways of asking questions that compel the defendant to give us information. And we can ask in what's called discovery what insurance policies they may have that can be related. Or we can ask them in a deposition where they're under oath and they'll have some duty to give us honest answers. So we could also subpoena their bank to see what homeowners coverage might be, what record of homeowners insurance they might have on file with the mortgage. So there are a lot of ways after the litigation process gets started to get answers. It usually isn't necessary to go that far. I mean, I think 90% plus of cases where there's insurance, either just asking or sending the letter of rep is enough to find out whether or not the dog owner has insurance coverage. Well, hey, I hope this information is helpful. If you have any questions about dog bite cases, please reach out. Happy to give you a free consultation. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video.